I broke up with my girlfriend because she disrespected me by getting a tattoo even though I said it was a deal breaker for me. Now I think the ink has gone to her head because she refuses to accept the breakup and says she does not consent. I want to preface this with a disclaimer: there is nothing wrong with having tattoos if you want and like them. They aren't my thing. Please don't take this as a condemnation of tattoos or the people who get them as a whole. My ex and I were together for about a year. Early on in the relationship, she had mentioned wanting to get some tattoos. I told her she had every right to do so since it's her body, but I find tattoos very unattractive and would likely break up if she went through with it. It became a small fight, and she was cold and passive-aggressive about it for a few days, but eventually, she said she understood and would not be getting the tattoos done. Fast forward to about 2 months ago, and she makes another attempt to get me on board with tattoos. I reiterate my stance and tell her again she can do it, but I won't stick around if she does. I went out of town to visit my cousin for a week and came home to her with a partial sleeve done. Her arm was basically one big scab. I ask her what's going on, and she just nonchalantly says she and her best friend had talked and agreed I was being unreasonable, so she went ahead and used my time out of town to get it done so I wouldn't be around to be a buzzkill about it. She said she got as much as the guy was willing to do in one sitting inked and, once she was healed, she planned to get it extended. The tattoo was already a deal breaker for me, but the blatant disrespect and casual way she implied my opinion didn't matter broke my feelings for her right there. We fought, and eventually, she just told me to get the hell out and locked herself in the bathroom. Thank God she did this when she did because I was close to not renewing my lease at my apartment and moving in with her. Packed my stuff up and left while she trash-talked me to her best friend on the phone. Dropped her stuff off from my place the next day. She told me I was making a huge mistake and throwing a good thing away for petty reasons. I just handed her the bag and left. That was weeks ago. Didn't hear from her until today. She called me. Here's a very brief summary of the call. Her: okay, the petty drama has run its course. You can move back in and move on, okay? Me: no, we are broken up. It's over permanently. I don't want to get back together. Her: we aren't getting back together. This was just a spat that got out of hand. You freaked out and left in a huff. I know you're just too proud to admit you're wrong, so we'll just call it even and you can come back. Me: no, I told you repeatedly that tattoos are a deal breaker. You did it anyway and then disrespected me on top of that with the way you went about it. We're done. You can move on now. Find a guy that finds your new ink attractive because I find it repulsive and wouldn't be able to look at you or that arm again. Conversation goes in circles for a bit before I hang up. Then she tries sending me some nudes in an attempt to seduce me, but her body does nothing for me now, and her sleeve was visible, which, even after it healed, was gross and unflattering. Told her I deleted them and to leave me alone. Blocked. She then messaged me on Snap saying she never agreed to a breakup and I owed her a conversation face to face if I wanted to end things. Blocked again. I know it's bad form to be a guy calling his ex crazy, but this girl is nuts. Top/relevant comments. Commenter: you two were just incompatible. Nothing's wrong with breaking up over it. On to the next adventure. Ops response: could you please let her know that she's supposed to be on a new adventure? She seems to think we're still on the old one. Commenter 2: be prepared for the crazy to really start now. If you have any shared friends still, make sure it's clear that you have ended the relationship. It has been over since she got the tattoo. Any further attempt by her to contact me is harassment and or stalking behavior and will be reported to the police. Feel free to unblock her and leave her on read to gather any further evidence of harassment/stalking behaviors. Ops response: I hope she doesn't escalate, but my friends know we're broken up. A few of her friends know as well. Her best friend seems to share her opinion that we're still together, though. If she shows up to bother me, there are cameras all over the place here. Commenter 3: she will blame you as well, and many will side with her. Be ready to say, well, if you've already made your decision that I'm at fault without talking to me, then I want nothing to do with such a low-quality friend of such poor character. I thought we were friends and that I deserved my side. I guess you just suck as a friend. Ops response: strangely enough, even her friends who have reached out to me said they don't blame me. The only person who is on her side is her best friend. Even my friends with tattoos fully support my decision and don't think I've been shallow or controlling, as the commenters here seem to think. Op adds an edit to their post. I find all the talk about me being shallow pretty funny, considering she told me that if I ever gained weight or stopped going to the gym, she'd leave me. Hell, she put on weight throughout our entire relationship and it never once made me consider leaving her. I still found her beautiful. When she changed her hair color to colors that I didn't like, I never said a bad word to her about it. I was supportive. I didn't like it, but it wasn't a deal breaker. Op adds a second edit to their post. This was great. The sub really is great for getting things off your chest. Had a lot of fun reading responses, and while I didn't need validation to know what I did was right, I still appreciate the supportive folks. The negative ones accusing me of being shallow, controlling, weird, and all sorts of other things because I have a preference were fun too. Didn't change my mind one bit, but I'm glad you guys were able to get those things off your chests as well. Update 6 days later. I came here a week ago to vent about a strange situation with my ex getting a tattoo and it resulting in us breaking up. Weeks later, she acted like our breakup was just a spat and that I was being unreasonable. I told her we were broken up permanently and blocked her. She then tried to message me on other platforms, demanding a face-to-face meeting because she never agreed to the breakup. In the end, the tattoo was a secondary cause of our breakup in my mind. She disregarded what we'd spoken about and agreed upon early on in the relationship. When I didn't give her the supportive response she wanted, she proceeded to belittle me and insult me, then kicked me out of her home, which we were close to having me move into full-time. Then she locked herself in the bathroom and loudly insulted me while on the phone with her best friend, who had been the one to convince her to get the tattoo while I was out of town. At that point, we were done. I took my stuff back to my place and brought her stuff from mine back to hers. She showed up at my place last night with a bag full of my bathroom stuff from her place, just a bottle of body wash and a few other things. She asked to come in and talk, but I stepped outside, and we talked out front where the cameras could see. She asked if I was really breaking up with her over a tattoo, and I reiterated that it was about more than the tattoo at this point, and that I wasn't breaking up with her. I had already broken up with her weeks ago. She tried to argue with me that our relationship was stronger than that, but I told her that it wasn't. That while I was comfortable with her, this whole incident made me realize I wasn't happy with her. Her treating me poorly was the wake-up call we both needed to go our separate ways and find people we could be truly happy with. She kept trying to argue that this was crazy and I was throwing a good thing away. I told her that I wished she'd just gotten the tattoo when we started dating. We could have broken up and just been friends. She said she'd considered it but decided she'd rather be with me than get the tattoo, so she lied to me when she said she was okay not getting one. Then, when I went on my trip, her best friend convinced her to get it and claimed I'd get over it and stick around. The guy who did the first part of her sleeve was an old FWB of her friend and agreed to do it for a discount. The conversation sort of went in circles for a bit before she tossed the bag at me and left crying, yelling, "Fine, we're effing over then." So that's that. She showed up at my place like a lot of people predicted, but no stabby stabs or anything. Friends told me she made a bunch of vague posts about heartbreak on social media, but I haven't seen any of it. Regardless of how things went down, I hope she heals and finds herself someone who can be more supportive of her choices than I was. Thanks to those people who offered me support for my decision. And to everyone calling me shallow, controlling, and weird for my stance on tattoos, I gotta say I had a blast reading those comments. Absolutely hilarious. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. If all of those toiletries are replaceable, I would just dump them. Don't be surprised if she hasn't quite grasped the fact that she is single yet. You may have to keep blocking her for a while longer. Ops response. I ran the bag out to the dumpster as soon as she left. I like the new stuff I picked out after the breakup, anyway. I'm hopeful this is the last I see of her. Maybe she'll find the tattoo-loving man of her dreams soon. Commenter 2. They were saying that because exes have occasionally put hair removal gel in shampoo,